Welcome. I'm your host, Dustin.
And I'm also Dustin.
Hell yeah, dude. This is essentially week two? I'm going to call it week two of Dustin Sandwich.
That's it, man. I get
Um,
to be the butted of the bread. That's my least favorite part, but that's my favorite part of this sandwich.
Oof. Hell yeah, man. Me too.
Oh, yeah.
I hope everybody's enjoying this collaboration and ongoing show now, since this is the official setup for the foreseeable future. It's super fun to be here chatting with you, man. And what we're going to be talking about today, I'm really excited to talk about.
Oh, yeah. In space, no one can hear you scream.
Eat ice cream.
Oh, eat ice cream. Sorry if I got that wrong.
Yeah.
In space, no one can hear you eat ice cream.
Yes, we're talking about killer clowns from outer space.
There we go. The other aliens.
Dude.
Yeah.
Oh, so excited for this. I think I saw it the day after it came out. When did you go to see it? Did you see it day of?
I seen it. It was a Friday night, so technically, yeah, it was last Friday.
Okay, all right. I think I saw it the same. Yeah, we saw it the same day because we were texting back and forth about it. So maybe we didn't see it opening day. I forget. Some of these.
Well, I mean, opening days are now like fucking Wednesdays. You know, like that's
Wednesdays, Thursdays,
yeah.
Monday. I don't even know, man.
They just put them whenever they want.
It used to be the order of releases, like music releases, I think used to be on a Thursday. Game releases used to be a Tuesday, and movie releases used to be a Friday. And now it's just like we'll do whatever we want.
Yeah. Yeah, I miss movie releases, man. When I used to work at the movie store, dude, every Monday night I got to set the new release cart.
Oh,
pretty tight, dude. Miss it.
I really miss doing midnight screenings. They don't do those anymore.
No, because shit comes out on Wednesdays now, dude.
So
like
do it midnight on Wednesday. Fuck it.
No, it would technically have to come out midnight on Tuesday at that point.
I guess you're right. Hey,
yeah.
I'll be there.
Sure, it depends what it is, to be honest.
Yes, for this one, I definitely would have been there.
Only if it counts for the $5 Tuesdays, because I have those down here. I don't know if you have those.
I do too,
up there.
Man. I do too. And they're amazing.
Oh yeah.
But I'm so stoked to talk about this one. I'm a big Alien fan. I've always been. It's pretty close to home with the Halloween love that I have. I mean, Aliens is in my top 5, which we did last episode. And I kind of re-ranked that. It used to be Evil Dead 2, and then I went and revisited and watched all the Alien movies because I have them. I have the old box set, the old. I don't know if it was the DVD or the Blu-ray one. I forget.
The quadrilogy. Is it a bigger? Is it like a holographic cover?
Yeah, it's like green. I think
black and green. Is it like? Okay, yeah, the Alien quadrilogy.
Yeah, so that's the one that I have. I don't own any of Prometheus or Alien Covenant. I can kind of just let's not talk about those.
The pack that I have has those in it.
Oh, I feel sorry for you, man.
Yeah. And if I'm gonna preface anything, dude, I am not an Alien fan. I prefer Predator. But
yeah. I think we talked about this last time.
But I was not gonna miss this movie. One, because of Fede Alvarez. Two, the hype around it, and it didn't feel like every other Alien movie. Like the first 45 minutes is a snooze fest.
Yeah,
that's not the case here, man. Because the pace is everything hits on all cylinders all the time.
Yeah. If there's one thing I do have to say, we're not going into spoilers right away. We'll do an overall feeling, and then we can jump into spoilers.
Sure.
But one thing that I want to say is that there was a lot of fan service in this, and I have to say that nowadays with movies, if it's part of a franchise or whatever it may be, like a beloved series, you can't get away from not seeing something catered to the fans. It's in everything. So if you're somebody who's just I'm so tired of seeing fan service or nods to old films or blah 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 blah, we're kind of in an age right now where you're not going to get away from that.
Okay, but would you consider it fan service, or would you consider it Fede Alvarez expressing his love for the Alien franchise?
Oh.
Because in reality, with this movie taking place in between 1 and 2,
yeah,
the blue fog that we see in the trailer that we, witness, and I remember which one. Is it in Aliens or Prometheus? The blue fog with for the face huggers.
Yeah, it's in Prometheus, I'm pretty sure.
See, you know what I mean? Like, technically, it doesn't matter because the timeline allows it. It's new to the characters that are experiencing it. It's not like, I've read about this in a book from 400 years ago. To me, man, I understand the argument for fan service, but I also can argue Fede Alvarez made a love letter to aliens. Like, he wanted to make his own aliens. So,
no, I agree.
To each their own, dude. Like, and I'm not tired of it. I mean, people have their own opinions, but it's like,
exactly. And like, I'm right there with you, but I just want to let people know, like, if you're someone who doesn't like that, then you might not be too into this. There were some lines of dialogue that I caught that were from either Alien or Aliens. Even some plot points were also from either Alien or Aliens, which is fine. It's fine. I loved it.
It takes place in between them. Yeah, it's 100%. It's going to mend the two together. So and again, like I just said, man, I'm a huge Alien fan. So it's like, I didn't catch those. And for me, man, like,
that's good.
The movie, there was one big one. Yes. But this movie fucking ruled. Like, I really liked a lot about it. It mended the horror and action element really well because it leaned, because the first one, a lot of people refer to it as a haunted house in space.
Yeah.
And then the second one is just a run and gun movie with aliens.
Yes.
This one met in the middle, so there was still like very tense, very scary shit. But there was also some of the action element started being present, which I really, really liked.
No, I agree. And there's a lot of really, really good things about this film. I left the theater with my friend, like, pretty blown away and being like, I cannot believe that we just saw an alien movie that did not suck ass.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, and I knew going into it, like, I didn't think, Fede is going to make an Evil Dead alien movie. I knew the keys were in the right hands.
Yes.
With Fede Alvarez, and we were going to get what we were going to get from it. So I wasn't mad at the final product, like, at all.
Me either.
I do enjoy the innuendos that are in this movie. I think it's pretty funny. And then once we get into it, dude, there is one character that I am happy with what he got. Dude, even he fucking got. I did not complain.
Same. So I guess, because I really want to get into spoilers, just your overall thoughts. I know you kind of just like said them, but like more compiled. Like, would you recommend this for people to go and watch it, even if you're not a fan of the Alien franchise?
Yes, and that's what's perfect about this movie is this movie makes it feel like a standalone film. There are things that it doesn't be like, do you remember this person from this movie? Do you remember this thing that happened in this one?
Yeah.
It all just lets you have it throughout the whole movie. So this movie is easily one of actually the only one, other than the first one, that's kind of like a standalone feature. And it's like, you don't have to watch really any of the other ones to understand what's going on right now because it's all laid out in front of you.
Yeah, I agree. And I have to give props as well to them using a lot of practical things. Like, they had models, like that opening shot. Yeah. I think most of that was a model, which looked amazing. The aliens, I am pretty sure, I mean, there's obviously CGI when you want to like duplicate things, but for the most part,
are they going to really film space? You know what I mean? It's just like, hey, all right, whatever, dude.
Well, I will say, if they did, and I think what they did, like back in the day with Star Wars, with the opening shot of the whole stars, I think it was just a black board that was like all painted. I'm pretty sure that's what they did. And then they just put a model going close. And then obviously they had to add a bunch of other stuff to it and whatnot. But I think most of it was all practical because that opening shot was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
I'll wait till we get into it.
Yeah. I definitely agree that this is a film that, even if you're not a fan of Alien or anything in the Alien franchise, whether it be Prometheus or Alien Covenant or any of the other ones, this is definitely one that you need to go and see. There's a lot of really good tension in this film as well. Kind of goes back to the first movie because, as you said, a lot of people say it's like a haunted house in space, which is pretty accurate. It was very more of a thriller, and obviously a lot of horror elements in it, and this one is just like that. And also, I need to add on that I'm so happy I saw this. I think I saw it on Twitter that someone confirmed it, and then Fede Alvarez also confirmed it, that he played through Alien Isolation before he made this.
I was gonna touch on that because I stand corrected. Alien Isolation is the other property that is a standalone anything with Alien, and boy, did you feel that in this movie.
Hell yeah. And I've played through that game so many times, and to see
so scared
to see what he added. And there are, like, this isn't a spoiler because I want people to see these if you played the game. If you look, and I think I caught one that they have one of the Sevastopol like save stations that you have to save into in the game. He made them and put them all around the ship. So there's like little Easter eggs every now and then. But yeah, it was really, really cool to see that he was a fan of that, and also everything else Alien, and he kind of incorporated everything to this film. So yes, go see this in a theater, because this is a theater movie. It's the sound design, you need to be there. But yeah, go see it.
Yeah. So we about to dive into space?
Yes, let's do it. All right. If you don't want to be spoiled, click off now. If you want to be spoiled, stick around. We prefer you to stick around anyway. But
go watch the movie if you haven't.
Yes.
We'll be here when you come back.
Hell yeah. And I'll let you kick it off because I know you're just excited as I am, but I want to hear your thoughts so much from somebody who's not so well versed in the Alien franchise. So I want to hear your thoughts wherever you want to go. So
everyone's talked about him on Twitter. There is a character in this movie named Andy.
I'm starting off here.
Andy is the fucking man, or synthetic in this movie, dude. And I didn't put two and two together. Andy, android, whatever. But I did. I was listening to Justin and not Loy Sauce, Epic Film Guys.
Oh, yep.
About theirs, and they kind of dabbled in something like they brought up. I was like, oh, that's actually true. Fede Alvarez kind of like dabbled into like the autism character, and I'm like, okay, that's really interesting. And then I met Andy. I'm like, okay, I fucking love him. You know who I don't love? That dick bag that's over there that's fucking around with him, dude. That his name's like Bjorn. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but Bjorn. Yep.
This kid that has peanut butter in his mouth and needs fucking subtitles when you're listening to him talk, dude, because that asshole got everything he deserved in this movie.
Yeah. And as soon as you're introduced to him, you already hate him.
Immediately. And I looked at my wife when like he was starting to bully fucking Andy, and I'm like, I hope he gets it. And I hope it's really bad. And guess what? It was really bad, dude. So it was, but I'm reading up on IMDb, dude, and like I just found out this movie was fucking filmed chronologically, which is very rare when it comes to movies in general. You know, like they don't shoot it, you know, piece by piece by piece. They shoot it, you know, the beginning, then the middle, then the beginning again, then which is pretty tight, dude.
All that stuff.
But once they hit, I'm lying, because the beginning of the movie, we meet Rain and Andy, and they're trying to get off this planet that never sees the sun. I wasn't bored any time up until they hit the space station when I knew shit was about to happen. You know, and that's, I dug it, you know, and there's a lot of times when they're in space, it's like dead silent.
Yeah.
When there's like, when the ship's like colliding with the ring, it's dead silent, dude. I'm like, that's fucking good, man.
Yeah, they really know how to. It's like the same thing with Alien Isolation. They knew how to. I don't even know what the word is, to film space, to make the audio space accurate. Because obviously, when you're in space, there is no sound unless like you're hitting something that's super muffled and just
How would you know that though?
sounding.
You know what I mean? Like you don't know if there's sound there.
Yeah.
Type of thing, dude. And also with this movie only having an $80 million budget,
Yeah.
Fade did so much, dude, because you felt so claustrophobic in these tunnels that they built in this space station, all practical.
Yeah.
They were on us. They were engulfed in this, dude. Like it was so good, man. But there is one part that I kind of, wasn't a huge fan of.
What is it?
But the deep fake.
Yeah.
Me personally, I don't care that they did it. I cared that it didn't look good.
Yeah, so here's my thoughts on that, and I'll touch over like the beginning of the film for myself.
Yeah. I'm done talking for a minute.
No, you're good. You're good. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But when they, like, once again, this is spoilers. Once they showed, it's not Ash, but it is Ash. So it's like another android of him. Maybe there's different.
The same model is what it is.
I guess it could be like reused.
Ash is the model is Ash, and his name's Rook.
Yeah.
To kind of Bishop.
Yeah. So you get introduced to this guy. You see an android that's split in half. All right. You see him when they go into this big corridor. You see a big hole, and that's when you find out, oh shit, they're on the ship. Something big happened. A big pool of acid just dropped down all the way through the ship. So then you see by it there's an android, and then they have to go through some stuff, and like, oh, let's boot up this android. Let's see what he knows, and they have Andy take his card. Blah blah blah. We have all that. But going back to my thoughts on seeing who it was, I was kind of shaking my head. I was like, I kind of knew it was coming. Because from all the other things I saw in this film, I'm like, okay, so this is going to be something that's going to be harking back to the first one or whatever it may be. I kind of wish it was just a different android. I mean, yeah, it's cool to be like, oh, it's that guy, to kind of have people who've seen the old movies, like, people who are older, be like, oh, that's really cool. I like that. But I don't think it was needed at all. It could have been a whole different one. Some people were saying it should have been David from Prometheus, that android.
I'd rather have been David. But again, like I said, I didn't care. Like, the casual moviegoer's not going to care because they won't know who that is, And it was just one of those things where I knew it was a nod. But again, if it looked good, I wouldn't be griping about it. It just, but it just didn't look good,
No.
But yeah, man, that's my only gripe, I think, to be honest about this movie.
Okay, so I want to take it back to the beginning. I thoroughly enjoyed the whole world building of where they were on that planet, with it saying blah blah blah. It's population of this. They get 0 days of sunlight. I'm like, okay, where are they going to be going with this? Obviously, it's going to be something to make the plot go further. Someone wants to obviously get out of here, go somewhere there is sun, blah blah blah. So you get introduced to Rain and Andy, like you said, and Rain, she has to go to, it's like an RMV DMV type thing for your job.
It's like a discharge center. I felt that's what it was. Like she pretty much paid her time, and
so she's going there to be like, okay, I can finally leave. I want to go to this one, and then they're like, no, you cannot. We're gonna add like a million other years to you, so many more hours. I'm like, that's so fucked up.
They were like, we actually rounded down the first time. We actually owe us 50 or it's like 15 more years. Yeah. Some bullshit like that, dude. But that's the first glimpse we get about how really shitty Weyland is. Like, it's like, these are kids, like they're young adults, not children, but it's like
18, 19 around there, I would say.
Yeah, young. Like they're going to be, and then they emphasize that, dude, because like she looks over and there's this old fucking guy just walking around. Like, how long has he been here?
His entire life, and his family before that.
Exactly. So, dude, it just made me. It definitely builds up the plot because there's a part at the end where it's like, okay. You suck just as much as your company does.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
And from going from that, we get introduced to her friends. Get a call, like, hey, come here. And it seemed like she wanted to distance herself from them for whatever kind of reasons. I don't think we really got any information as to why she wanted to break off.
I think they were a thing. Like Rain and main guy were like a thing.
Oh, because I didn't get that vibe at all, but maybe.
Oh, dude, she was avoiding his calls. There's a part like when they were talking, like he would reach his hand over and lay it on hers and shit like that. Like it was like a past thing, is what it felt. So that's because Andy's like, he's just gonna keep calling back. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay.
I guess now that you think you're saying it, I can see that. But I think I was just so enthralled with everything else that was going on, I didn't even like realize that was happening.
Yeah.
But we get introduced to the team, and they're like, "Oh, there's a ship up there that's got cryopods, and we want to go up there because we want to go to this station. So the only way to do that is if we go into cryo sleep for 5 years,
9 years. It's like 9 years. They wanted to get up there and get them before anyone else on this planet was able to go up there and harvest all that shit.
Yeah, and I guess the ship came, it went into the orbit. I think it was the one that we saw in the beginning when they were taking all the stuff out. So it was obviously drifting towards them. So they work on like the big rigs and they're like, okay, let's just take this ship. And one thing that I was like, how is nobody stopping this if they're on this like work like planet? They're just taking a ship into outer space.
I think it's theirs, like the pilot, Navarro.
Yes,
I feel like that was hers because she seemed like she built it from the ground up.
Still, it's just like, how did
you're not wrong. Like, are they not being patrolled? Are they, because they're essentially slaves to this, labor?
Yeah.
Are they not being monitored? Are they not being, watched or whatever? Is there like you're allowed to fly one time a day card? Like how the fuck did you get past that, and let alone no one follow you?
Yeah, and you're up there for a while. Like, I don't mind that they weren't followed because obviously if they were, it would have no movie, would have no story, blah blah blah. But they,
I feel like if it had a ship with just two people, that'd have been just two more people to add to the formula of what was going to happen.
Yeah, for sure. But they make their way up to this station. Beautiful views. I think it was shot so well of them going up into it and like seeing the outside of it. That really reminded me of Alien Isolation when you're on the ship and you're going towards where you're supposed to be boarding, and they see a bunch of lights and a lot of really cool things. So they board it. And they go in and it's 0G. There's nothing there, and they also have to crawl through a really, really tight space, which is really cool. I love that whole shot.
That started the claustrophobia of the building. But this is also like the first time Rain has like seen the sun.
Yeah. Because
they get high enough out of this fucking like electrical storm, whatever looms over their planet. And she oh dude, she like soaked that shit up, dude. But yeah, this is where like the claustrophobia starts. With them getting on, because the only reason Rain is there is because they need Andy to unlock these doors. So there's strike one for them dickheads bringing him with them.
Yeah.
Just to use him.
Yeah.
But I hate the whole point where they're like, he's just a synthetic. He's not going to care. I'm like, I'll fight you. I'll fight you right now.
Yeah. I have to really give props to, what is it? David Johnson plays Andy. He did a great job.
Perfect.
Another thing too, I didn't know any of this cast. I didn't know anything that they were in. That I have to give props for Fede finding people who have done things, but more like on the lower side, I would assume, and then bringing them in.
There's only one, and my wife pointed her out. It's the other girl that's on this ship with the long hair, the pregnant one.
Yeah.
My wife goes, "Oh, that's the live-action Dora the Explorer."
Oh, I think I saw someone saying that. Yeah, Dorothy's in space now. Dora's in space now. I'm like,
okay.
all right. But yeah, the
Yeah,
whole other
I did
cast,
like
no idea.
the cast of No Names, dude. I loved that shit.
And
You know,
they
it's like it's not
killed it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and like looking at stuff that Kaylee Spaney's been in, dude, like she was just recently in Civil War. So I mean that's as recent as it gets for her.
Yeah. Yeah, I was
But
briefly going through everybody's IMDb's. I was like, I don't really know any of these people, but they all can act their ass off, man.
yeah.
Go
So
ahead.
so they find the cryopods. They get this the fucking temperature collector that's in isolation. Then they find the cryopods, but there's not enough juice, and this is where it first starts, dude. Because I got so pumped because Bjorn gets half of his hand frozen.
Oh yeah, that was an awesome effect. That was great.
Okay. And my wife's like, "Well, what did that have to do with anything?" I'm like, "Those cryo tubes were keeping those face huggers frozen."
Mm-hmm.
I'm sort of like, as it's happening, I'm playing it out for her, and you know, sure as shit, you know, all the stuff starts happening. But that's when Andy gets the upgrade to Andy 2.0.
Yeah.
And fucking grabs that face hugger in midair, dude, Rambo style.
Dude, that whole sequence of when they get locked in the cryo room, and it's all red, water everywhere. You see these things frozen. You're like, those are face huggers, obviously. And then Andy gets Rain has to board, right, because they couldn't get out of the ship, and they promised her, hey, you would not have to get off of the ship at all. You just have to be there and just help Andy, you know, do what he needs to do so we can do what we need to do. So
they get locked in there. That's why she comes on, right?
Yeah. So they get locked in because Andy didn't have
pull
clearance.
They pull the cryo out, and then he doesn't have the clearance. Okay,
so they're like, oh, this is easy. Just take it out. And then, he freezes his hand, and then water everywhere, which I think is great. And then I was like, just open up the fucking door or grab something and break the glass. But I guess there's like a little hole in the door where you can kind of...
Yeah, put your hand in.
Put things through. I'm like, okay.
Not like they needed to keep shit in there, right? Like just, God forbid something gets out, dude.
Yeah.
Don't open the door. Just go through the crack in the door.
You can do it. It's fine.
Yeah, man. Fuck.
So,
but yeah,
Rain gets the card from the Ash. I'm just gonna call him Ash. I'm not gonna call him Rook. They take it from that and then give it to Andy, and then Andy puts it in. Well, they put it in, and he just gets frozen because he obviously has to reboot. He's getting all this new memory, and the face huggers
it's tense.
They defrost.
Yeah,
so then everybody is just like, what the fuck is that? And then
dude,
our favorite guy.
Jealous? Were you jealous of them face huggers, dude?
Yeah.
Because they were fucking packing.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about, dude?
Oh, yeah, I do. And we see a good shot of it later.
And that's not just their tail.
No.
Golly.
But Bjorn, he gets tripped. And then there's multiple ones that keep trying to go on their faces, which there's a lot of really good close calls and good, like, oh, I'm going to swipe it this way, swipe it that way. And like you said, we have that awesome badass like moment of just grab it and then flings it. Oh, it's so good, dude. It's so good. I was
waiting for like his hands to turn to machine guns or something, dude. Like something wild like that.
That would have been so cool.
But, like a tennis net, you know, like a tennis racket, just smacking him. Dude, but then there's the chase scene down the hallway, dude, because they're getting fucking chased, and unfortunately, Navarro doesn't understand what's going on because she wasn't there. And I kind of wish they didn't show that part in the trailer where she got hit. I wish that didn't happen because at that point
I don't watch trailers anymore.
I understand that too, yeah. But they show that, and then they actually showed one of the coolest texts that's in this movie on there, and that's the X-ray thing that she finds, dude.
Yeah.
And then she puts it, you know, after, you know, they find a way to detach the face hugger, which becomes, I guess, at a sense, useless towards the end of the movie, which I don't get why. But they hook the cryo tubes up to this fucking gun and get the face hugger off because the tail's wrapped on the neck. It'll break her neck if, you know, they handle it too hard. Yeah, so all that shit happens, but we know what happens once, you know, that fucking 8-inch anaconda gets laid up in someone's throat.
Yeah.
You know, I never thought about that. Like, I always just assumed they sat on your face, dude. Like I never thought that they had something that came the fuck
Yeah.
out, literally planted the seed, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, it's creepy. I honestly think of all the things that are in like the alien like verse, like all the creepy mutations and shit, face huggers are the creepiest.
Yeah.
Because they wrap around your neck, they match up with your breathing pattern so that way you don't die, and then they lay something inside of you, and then I'll tell you, you were saying like I don't know why it survived after that happened. My guess, and some other people have been saying that they were being studied, and I think that whatever they were doing, they were able to make them stronger and probably allow them not to die and have multiple eggs. I think, because you know how we get introduced to the goo that was also like in Prometheus and shit like that. I think that they probably injected all of them with like some sort of like super steroid or something that will allow them to either live on and be able to reproduce more or just not die. But
yeah, sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, because I mean they kind of play into that a little bit later with well, actually no, because it's the point that's made later.
Yeah.
But what I was talking about, like the cryotubes, they use it that one time and that's it. I'm like, they're still fucking there. You know, it's still there to help you.
Yeah.
But
they don't want to waste all the juice. They need it for the pods. You know.
That's true. I mean, but what would you rather have, pods or fucking surviving? You know what I mean?
That's a good question,
dude. Man, but no. Then you know we know what happens once the chest burster comes out, dude. It, you know, lays makes a cocoon of a whispering eye up here, dude.
And the thing is, we have never seen that in any of the Alien movies. This is the first time, and I saw that I was like, "Is that a fucking cocoon?"
Yeah, looks like a vagina.
It was great.
My wife goes, "Oh, look at that! It's a fucking vagina."
H.R. Giger.
Right, but dude, Bjorn walks up with a fucking taser. Which at this point, why didn't you grab the cryo gun?
He's dumb.
Oh. So he sticks that fucking cattle prod up there and fucking gets him, dude. And I seen that tail poke out, and I grabbed my wife's arm. I'm like, it's about to happen. This kid's about to finally fucking get it, dude. And he got so good. And then the best part is the acid falls on his hand on the other fingers that weren't affected by the frozen fucking cryo stuff. And I'm like, I look at my wife, I'm like, those are his bowling fingers. This kid ain't going fucking bowling anytime soon.
Hell no, man.
And dude, he died by drip, and I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it so much. But we learned why he's being a dickhead to Andy. You know, it's like his mom was in this collapsing mine, and the synthetic had to make a choice to save a bunch of people and not 3, or only save those 3 people and not the bunch of people. And you know, unfortunately, he picked saving the bunch of people.
Yeah, you can say that's like the company's fault, but it doesn't matter if you're an android or not. I feel like if he was in that position, or if like one of us was in that position, you'd make the same call.
Yeah.
So like his justification for why he feels that way is bullshit.
Well, actually, you know, I feel like if he were in that position to make that decision, he would have decided to save his mother out of selfishness.
Him specifically.
But in general, like, not gonna lie, if my wife were down there, I'd save my wife.
Yeah.
You know, you'd save your kid.
Yeah.
You know, that's why all these people don't have, you know, siblings, relatives, loved ones that work with them. Yeah. It's because they don't, and then that's why synthetics have to make these decisions. It's not humans.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
But going back to his death scene, I actually thought he killed it at first because of how much it was bleeding already. Unless that was just like the sac juice, I'm not entirely sure, but it was acid that was coming out. And I was like, did he actually just kill that thing? I was
like, a squirter.
Maybe there was a chance that he did, but then we see it moving, and dude, I think they just released some behind the scenes footage of that actually happening, and it's all practical guy in a suit doing that. Absolutely amazing.
It was fantastic.
Amazing.
It was fantastic, dude.
And then what the hell happened after that?
Yeah, he gets fucking got, dude. So at this point, Andy, Rain, and Tyler are not on the ship because they got left by.
That's why they got locked out because of the assholes.
Yeah, they got locked out. So now, the little sister, Kay, is sitting there, or she's sleeping because we learned that she's pregnant, right?
Yeah.
Foreshadowing.
And no one knows other than Rain.
And she's sitting there fucking snoozing, and all of that happened while she, was, no, she woke up when the chest burster came out, but she's the only one that survived, and now she's like running through, like climbing through grates and hiding and shit from this unknown monster.
Yeah.
And they, Andy, Tyler, and Rain have to walk through this part of the ship that have the face huggers in them. So they have to match their body heat with the room's heat, so they don't get seen.
I thought that was really cool.
I thought it was great, and then the whole time I'm like, they're gonna get called over the radio.
Yeah, me too.
I'm like, they're gonna get called, and I'm like, and that girl's gonna, like, in my brain, I'm like, that girl's being so selfish. They're fucking trying to. I'm like, but how would she know?
Yeah.
That they're trying to sneak past these things, dude.
Yeah. So you can't fault her. Even
no, but of course, with what's happening, yeah.
You idiot,
it's double.
They're almost there.
Double peril, which was great. Like, no one at this point was safe except for Andy. I mean, Andy's always going to be safe regardless.
Yeah,
but
unfortunately, or fortunately,
well, he's like the anchor when it comes to the team of people, because he's the one that will hardly ever be affected by this unless he's like legitimately ripped apart.
Yeah, Even so, you can survive to a certain degree. Stupid androids.
look at fucking Rook or Ash.
Well, we call him asshole.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Oh my god, dude. But he takes over Andy. Like he persuades him, right? Like he's like, listen, it's us against them. Bots against humans. What the fuck have they done for you lately? And that's when Andy kind of like has a new directive, because Rain's dad, when he found, because Andy's like it's like tarnished, like a damaged synthetic, like he was in the trash, and Rain's dad kind of like fixed him to where he's like, your directive is to take care, or what is best for Rain.
And dad
now
jokes.
It's what is, and dad jokes.
A lot of dad jokes.
So good, dude. But then his new directive is what is best for the company, which at this point you're like, fuck, because the beacon that's in this movie is now part of the bad team.
Yeah.
Which blows, but
there's a way to fix it. But
there is. They got to get to it, but he won't let them.
No.
He's super strong. He's a robot.
But dude, there's so many good parts in this movie. I think the one that I need to highlight, and I think this is everybody's favorite moment, and if it's not, it needs to be, other than when asshole gets killed, is, I like to call it the acid dance. When they have the pulse rifles, which this is another thing.
Pulse rifles that have no reload.
Yes.
You only have 500 shots. That's it.
And they steal this from aliens, which is fine. Right? This is fine. What they do is when they get the pulse rifles, Rook tells them, "Oh, you don't want to do that because the acid will go down to the ship and you'll die."
Not just that. Did you ever think? I'd never thought about it. Like, they're in a space station, and they've never had like live ammunition. It's always been something frozen or something like fire.
Yeah. Because
if they puncture the hole in a wall in the space station, they're fucking done.
Yeah.
I never thought about that.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like,
crazy.
Why doesn't he want him to use these weapons? And he says that. I'm like, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, like, Sigourney Weaver had a flamethrower. In Aliens, the only time they used guns is when they were on planet, not in ship.
Well,
right?
Yes, they were. So this going back to is from Aliens. They have to go and find out where all the people are, and they're in this hive. But they find out, if you shoot down there, it's gas, so it's gonna explode. So that's kind of the same thing that they're doing here, but instead of something exploding, it's that the acid's gonna go and it's gonna essentially suck all you guys into space. So like they kind of, they took like the same like plot point sort of from there,
same vein,
which is fine. It's absolutely fine. I enjoyed it, and I think in that lab, like in the room where they got the pulse rifles, was one of the save stations that I was talking about from the video game.
Okay.
So there's one in there, which is like, oh, that's cool. I saw that. I was like, ooh, that's really, really cool. Didn't even realize that he was doing that until after the fact. But yeah, they get the pulse rifles, and they're at this point where there's a countdown. There's a point in here that they're going closer and closer to an asteroid belt. And a ring of a planet. So they have about like 30 minutes to do this, and I think they're down. God, it's gonna be like
3 days to 30 minutes.
Yeah, so they have. I think at the point where this is happening, they have like 10 minutes or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, we're not gonna get out of here. No, it's Andy and Rain, and they're just stuck in the corner. They're in this essentially a mini hive of a bunch of aliens that they've already seen, and they have the pulse rifle. And then Rain thinks, oh, we're going to die. But then she's like, 0G. So she goes and has Andy essentially reboot 0G. It's like Andy's holding her and she has the pulse rifle.
Oh, yeah.
And this is so sick. It's so bad. I got chills watching this because it auto aims and locks because she's never used a rifle before. We go through this whole thing early on. We're like, here you go. We'll show you. And it's zipping and zipping. And you see all the acid just in the air or, in the not air. And it's like, oh, and then they have to dance through it. Oh, it's so fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah. All I thought about, man, was that episode of The Simpsons when Homer goes to space and eats a bag of chips. and he's just floating around and he's eating the chips in space. Yeah.
It's so good.
But no, it was tight because they kind of play on that earlier in the movie because, like, that happens. Like, they're like, why the fuck is there no gravity? And then they all fall and hit the ground. Like, oh, there's a timer. It's like every, 3 minutes there's a timer that goes off. And yeah, this dance scene was nice, dude. And then especially when she was about to come face first into like a whole puddle, dude.
Yeah.
And then
I'm like, oh, dude.
She finally shot the gun, and we finally got to see the recoil because we never seen it because Andy was holding her.
Yeah.
And then she shot enough to where she dipped and dodged and missed the acid.
It was so badass. And then they get into like this elevator shaft, which takes you up to the top where they can go. And then the purge is about to happen, and then she's like, "Oh fuck!" Andy's secure on a ladder, but you have to get to a ladder. And then what happens? One of the fucking aliens survives.
Yeah, of course there has to be. And then, man, when Andy does the fucking superhero landing on top of this xenomorph and lands on her, and then we get hit with the "Get away from her, you bitch" line.
Yeah,
I was pretty hyped. I was pretty hyped on it, dude, because that's probably that. I think that's like I was telling you earlier. That's like the one line that I kind of caught. I really knew it, because it's a famous
"Get away from her, you
movie
bitch."
Quote.
Yeah. Oh, so good.
And Andy lights that xenomorph up, but now during all of that, there's a canister of black goo that Kay has acquired. And they were like, Rook's like, here, do this to her. She might live.
Might.
It's untested. And she fucking does it, dude. I'm like, you idiot. Dude.
Yeah.
And then she, Andy makes it to, Andy and Rain end up making it to the ship. They both get into the cryopods ready to go.
Yep.
Until Kay gives birth.
Yeah, because they get on there, and this whole black goo, it's from Prometheus. Remember, who doesn't know, go watch Prometheus, and you'll be introduced to it. But essentially, it's supposed to be like a hyper. It's like reanimator juice.
I looked at it as like And like the boys, they have like the blue shit. What's it called? It's not Gen V.
Fuck. I know what you're talking about though. Or it's like,
But it gives,
super soldier serum. We can say that too.
Sure, exactly. But it's like they lean into the perfect specimen a lot in this movie.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They're like, humans deserve to be this perfect specimen.
Take this. It'd be great.
Coming from a synthetic.
Yes.
He's like, yeah, you guys deserve this. Whatever. So she gives birth, dude, to this fucking football. And man, this is the most Fede Alvarez that's in this movie.
It's insane.
Because when we get the reveal, I was calling this thing the perfect specimen because that's essentially what it is at this point.
Yeah.
When we got the reveal of this thing, dude, it's like the Abomination from Evil Dead 2013. And this thing are like fucking best buds, dude, because they look very similar. I really liked how it evolved every time it fed. So Dora the Explorer's laying there, with their fucking goo. And this perfect specimen, this perfect organism is... I couldn't think of the word. This perfect organism is feeding off her, and that you see the tail fucking grow out of it, dude. I thought that was really sick.
Dude, I was honestly really grossed out because I was telling my friend, because she was like putting her hand in like her shirt, and I'm like, is that fucking breast milk? Is that breast milk? Is that breast milk?
The Homelander special.
And then I was like, that's fucking breast milk, dude. That is so gross. Like she producing that as a human. But yeah, dude. A lot of people are like, oh, it's stupid, whatever. I enjoyed it. You can totally tell that Ridley Scott said you need to make sure you're doing something that's gonna include Prometheus and Alien Covenant. And this is them tying all that together, essentially, with the black goo, with this guy, because he looks like a space jockey.
He does.
And he's tall.
That's not fair to compare him to that, just because he has humanoid characteristics. It's just one of those things, because they tried doing that in Alien Resurrection, right? Like there's the offspring or whatever they call that alien that has the weird skull face. Yeah, but then all of a sudden, she remembers there's fucking cryo tubes back there attached to this gun. I'm like, okay.
That's what you were saying earlier.
Yeah, and here's where I wish it had actually ended, is like Jason X style. I wish they all got frozen on this ship, and the ship was just careening to its destination.
That would have been crazy.
That's what I wish had happened. Like that was the end, and then once it lands where they're going, it's like Yavarna or Yovanda, something like that.
Weird like that.
They have to deal with it at that point. You know what I mean? Like that's where I wish it had ended, but it didn't. We did get a big final battle, which was still really neat.
Yeah.
So yeah, you want to take us through the final battle?
Yeah, dude. I mean, at this point, we're on the ship. We got introduced to this giant creature. Which I'm just gonna call it space jockey. It's not, but it kind of is. It's Rain and this thing. Andy is shut down essentially so he's not using all his juice and he can control the ship, blah blah blah, while they go into cryo sleep. So he can just, if something happens, he can wake up and fix the problems. Which he wakes up and he has to go fix a problem because Rain is about to die. And this whole sequence was amazing. And also how they shot this creature compared to all the aliens that we saw, I thought was the best. Like showing how big this thing is compared to her. It's just like, what the fuck? And seeing its back and the tail, and seeing what the little inject, like the thing inside his mouth looks like from like the actual aliens, where it looks like from a human little perspective.
Yeah,
crazy. So she has to essentially disengage the cargo portion of their ship, where I don't think the cryopods are in there. I think it's just something where they they just had. So she's like, oh,
Yeah.
I can do this. So she has to quickly read. I was laughing at this. She looked at the the little manual on the side, being like, oh, I got this. Okay, good, got it.
Yeah, like looking at the switches, like, wait a minute, there's 4 of them.
Yeah. Run around, have to do that, and we were teased on this with like the little dangling like hooks when they first got onto the ship. They bumped into it. It's like, oh, that's a plot device right there. They're going to be using that later. Sure enough, she has to hook herself to one of those and also to the board because she knows the only way to get this thing off here is to lure it down into the cargo ship with her in it and safely get back up. But does anything ever really happen the way do you want it to happen?
Nope.
No. So this thing legit puts up a fight. They get there. They're like this close to the asteroid belt because now where they were set before, I think they were going away from it. But since things got fucked up, they got like repositioned and now got sucked into the orbit.
Their autopilot got turned off.
Yeah. So now happened. Back to the timer. Oh, they're going towards the asteroid belt, and sure enough, they're like right there. So as soon as she's dropping the cargo, which this was really badass, what happened is that she got it all the way down and she's dangling outside in space with this thing on her. And then, crap, how the fuck did she go back up? Did Andy do something? I forget. I just know that she zipped all the way back up.
No, that's literally all it is. She repelled herself back up.
She had to.
Like,
that's right.
Like the rope in gym class, and got up there and got fucking snuggled in, and
hell yeah,
happily ever after, man.
And it's seeing like it literally the thing get destroyed from the asteroid belt, I thought was pretty fucking sick, dude.
You see it stand up on the fucking ring of the planet because it's so giant.
But yeah, that's pretty much like our final act, final battle. You can rank that wherever you want in the final battles of the Alien series, but I think this whole movie I think sits number 3 for me. It's Alien, Aliens, then this. I think from all the other films, there's a lot of good things and a lot of bad things about them, but for how original a lot of this was, and also with the fan service that was included, the creature designs, seeing new things we've never seen before is really refreshing. The final battle of seeing this thing get wasted and then they safely go to where they're supposed to be going from there on out. I did sit through all the credits to make sure there was no after credit scenes. There is not.
Nothing? Okay.
No, there is not. I was like,
well, what they should have did was, like, you know how what Prey did is Prey showed like wall paintings throughout their credits to kind of like hint at the next one. Oh yeah, man, that's what we need. I need to see like, you know, like ancient Egyptians, or I want to see like pirates dealing with xenomorphs.
I want to see cavemen.
You know, well, all the way to cavemen, dude. I want to see like King Arthur and like the knights dealing with fucking xenomorphs, dude. Like, Prey definitely opened up that can of worms for everyone, man. Because I want to see samurais versus predators, dude.
Hell yeah,
real bad.
Hell yeah. But this movie, I've been thinking about it a lot, and I'm going to see it again this week. I'm going to try to go on Friday before it gets out of the theaters because I want to experience it again in a theater with hopefully a bigger crowd. But no, in my theater, everyone was like cheering or being like, "What the fuck?" And when the breeding part happened with the breast milk, like everyone went, I was like, yeah, I know. Sick, dude.
What did you rate this on Letterboxd?
Letterboxd, I still got to download, but if I was gonna rate it on there, it's gonna be
God damn it.
I know I need to do it, but Letterboxd, that rating is gonna be a 4.5 personally, since my own personal scale, since I go to 10s, this will be an 8.5 for me. So 4.5 to 8.5. What about you?
Yeah, I gave it a 4 out of 5.
Hell yeah, dude.
So it's
we're pretty much like right there at the same.
It's absolutely one I'm going to revisit.
Yeah, so good. But
yeah, man,
I want to know what everybody else thought about this movie, because there's a lot of people who are really liking it, people who aren't. So let us know. Yeah,
write in the comments. Tell us.
Hell yeah. Is there anything in this that you wish they either added or did differently?
The ending. If they had frozen them, that would have opened it up. That and that's really all I'm gonna gripe about. I've already griped enough about that deep fake.
Turns out it's a deleted scene about them freezing everybody at the end.
Right? That's Fidei's like, fuck, that's how I had it. Ridley.
Yeah, Ridley, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
What about you?
Man. I don't really think there's much I would change or add. I enjoyed everything that I saw. I wasn't really disappointed. I thought the pacing was really, really well done. It started off very claustrophobic and very slow, but not too slow where you're like, oh, this is a snore fest. The creature designs were great. Maybe if they toned down the amount of face huggers that they were using, because there was a lot, I feel like maybe they overused them a bit.
Wasn't even mad at those, dude, because it's an infestation. You know what I mean? That's how I look at their parasites, man. So I'm okay with there being because there has to be a ton of aliens, right?
Hell yeah.
So there's got to be a ton of facehuggers.
Oh, this is the thing. What if we found out there was a queen on this ship? Do you think that would have changed the game at all?
A little bit, but I'm glad there wasn't, because I'm glad that this group of characters had to deal with the trouble they were in already. And I just think adding a queen on top of that. By the way, well, they wouldn't have known about it if the ship would have fucking hit the thing anyway, would have killed it. So it wouldn't have mattered, because the queen can't move. The queen is stationary.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with it. Very, very happy. And I hope everybody who has seen it or is going to see it will be happy with it at some sort of level. Because we need more movies that are like this, that are pushing boundaries, that are adding new things, even if they're incorporating some old, plot devices or anything, and just trying to rework them to make them seem fresh. We need more of this.
If Fidei were to, what would the next Fidei Alvarez remake be that you would want?
Damn, dude. Like a franchise?
Sure.
I think
my answer is, I'm going to say a franchise because there's 4 of them. 4 or 5, I think.
Which one is it?
Pumpkinhead.
That would be sick. I love Pumpkinhead. And
dude, Lance
there were
Henriksen.
rumors of a remake, but I think it kind of fell through. I think
it's a Fidei Alvarez.
That would be sick. And this, hey, I know this has been beaten with a dead horse, but new characters, completely fresh, maybe sitting in between whatever, like he did with this one for a movie, but I think Terminator, dude.
Okay.
I think you'd do a really good Terminator. If you can build this kind of tension and like this chase sequences and crazy just visions and set designs, I think it would be pretty sick, but stay away from like Arnold and do like his own thing.
They're not going to be able to if they have to do that. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the unfortunate side of that franchise is you do another Terminator movie, you have to include Arnold at some point.
Kill him off in the first second.
There you go. Yeah. That's it. Just fucking get rid of him, dude.
Just get rid of him. Bam. Get out of here. But this is a solid review, and I hope, like I said, I hope everybody enjoyed this. Rate us wherever you're listening, wherever you're watching. Put some comments, share it around. It means a lot, and there's a lot more to come.
Oh yeah.
And we'll see everybody on the next one, dude.
Later.